Who was I going to sell to? And I would market to family and friends and utilize their feedback as a unit of measure to tighten up my craft. Hi, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time, my name is Christopher Evans. I'm a photographer and founder of Teleoculus. In this series, I will be covering the continuing story of my journey as a photographer and business owner. But first, if you like this kind of content and you want to see more of it, feel free to press the like and subscribe button for more personalized content like this. Previously, I left off rather abruptly, having left off on the inspiration of the development of Teleoculus. Having spoken to the Best Buy employee and exchanging information, I made my way back to my truck and talked to myself about starting a new venture and creating another business. The thought lingered in my head for a few days as I took photos with my new camera and lens, practicing the lessons in the photography textbook that I had just purchased. It wasn't long before the targeted ads for starting a business and creating LLCs and entrepreneurial videos convinced me to start somewhere. In the past, I had done a small bit of research on legitimate LLCs and entities that would shelter my business ventures, and I would land on LegalZoom. The number of lessons learned from previous successes and failures could be counted in the tens. I was weary from making mistakes in the past and worried about creating issues for myself or my family, especially when many of those suggested videos were so kind enough to have disclaimers and warn about failing to file X, Y, or Z. When looking forward, a lesson I learned from my previous encounters was how to identify my customer demographic. Who was I going to sell to? And I would market to family and friends and utilize their feedback as a unit of measure to tighten up my craft. I knew how to sell my services to others, regardless of who they were. I knew how to make money and where to start making it. I'm not here to give advice, but I do believe that there is no point in filing for an entity with the sole purpose of creating a business if you don't know how to make money. I did ask myself this question: do I know how to make money? And the answer is always yes. However, in the past, I had become painfully aware of the decisions that led to outcomes less profitable than the ones that could have manifested greater returns. I needed a well-structured and organized business model to maximize revenue, minimize costs on services sold, and develop effective marketing strategy. I later started to find the process through LegalZoom to develop the structured business entity to protect my business and help create a barrier between my family and the business. I made a few phone calls to many small business accounting firms who would help me serve my goals in keeping a tight balance sheet during tax time. In the dead space of my days, I focused on educating myself thoroughly on financial sides of things so I could see the failings of the businesses immediately. I purchased a few books on accounting so that I could keep up with my own expenditures, liabilities, and costs of things sold. Then visit the IRS website so I can get knowledge about small businesses. And having found supportive sources of knowledge, I developed an autodidactic system for myself, and I would go about finding a legal team to look through my contracts and poke holes through them. In June of 2025, my business license, business insurance, accounts, and EIN were all finalized. I chose the name Teleoculus for this entity for its Latin and Greek meaning. In the Latin translation, oculus means eye, and in the Greek translation, tele means far off or distant. With the prefix of tele and the suffix of oculus, the name combined, Teleoculus, could be translated as far eye or distant sight. I settled on becoming the far eye of photography. My strategy would turn out to be effective as I tried to start somewhere slow and well-known. Friends, family, and co-workers would turn out to be the target audience. One morning, I received a phone call that a coworker of mine had become engaged, and at the time, I was trying to find a niche to the business, and with this news, I leaned in. However, this would create a series of significant challenges as I wasn't well versed on what made a successful wedding photography business, and this problem would become a larger issue than I had anticipated. But I would go on to learn more about the service industry. Sometime in July, my coworker would personally inform me of their engagement, as well as their ideas for their ideal wedding service. And after pestering them for several days, they came around to the idea of hiring me as their photographer. I wanted to lean in, but I didn't know how to market my service to the community and develop my ideal customer base. So I would search over the internet and find venues and event halls with web pages that would help me develop a model of the ideal customer. At the time, I thought it was a simple strategy. I drove, walked, emailed, called, wrote, and scheduled meetings with different establishments. My free hours were consumed by this, and it would go on from the beginning of August until the first week of September. In that first week, I finalized the contract with my coworker after speaking about the details about the deliverables and compensations. And with only weeks left, I had become nervous, and I doubled my efforts in ironing out the details of the day to come. I searched for a mentor, someone who could assist me in planning for what came next as a photographer. Thank you again for joining me on this journey. Please leave a comment below, ask about the channel and the projects going on in Teleoculus. Right now, press the like button if you enjoyed this content and subscribe for personalized content.